unfortunately, I don't see a whole lot where there's a structure for investment into sport. And there have been some investment. I know some of the budding colleges, soccer colleges that are private initiatives, trying to serve as, in quote, a breeder ground for talented young footballers who can then go to the market. So that in itself is a business opportunity, knowing that we are replete with talent in this country. We have a lot of, talented young people, and soccer is at the top of our hearts. So everybody, this, as a friend once said to me, Ghana is a country of 29,999 coaches, 11 players. So and anything where there's huge consumption power is an opportunity for business and therefore an opportunity for investment. But we haven't yet been able to build that constructive structure to be able to channel it and make it a real recognizable opportunity for people. So a lot of the initial investments into sports, into soccer, etc., have been out of personal interest. I mean, I played hockey, I played cricket, and I love athletics, although I can't run. So, personally, I've supported Rex Broby with his fastest man, in Ghana project, which is a very laudable project and has re-established Ghana back into athletics. If you remember, in the 60s and 70s, Ghana was known for speedsters in athletics. At some point, I'm told that we almost held a world champion in the 100 yards. But all these things have gone because there's no money into it, and a lot of our sports people retire virtually penniless, spent, and probably worn out, although they've really done well. And so for us at GIPC, indeed, 2019, we had on our plan to actually do a sports investment forum. And we're going to invite some sporting personalities globally to come and talk about it. But unfortunately, our timing didn't coincide with when their availability. So we've pushed it for this year. Hopefully, it won't be too late as it's an election year and the focus will be on that. But I believe that the opportunity is probably just as strong as the opportunity for tourism for investment. Almost everybody I know has some interest in some sport or the other. Ghana, I mean, I used to play cricket, and I was surprised when we had under 20 team become the African champions in cricket. Was it under 20? Well, I mean, one of our teams, under 19, became African champions in cricket. But hardly anybody, if you see any real investment into cricket, then it's private people. Some of the Indian communities, some of the Australian community, the English community, the traditional countries that play the game. But yet there was an African championship. Very few people had. We've been pushing a lot of money into soccer. We haven't, every West Africa championship, we are struggling, So across all sports, volleyball, I remember when I was much younger, volleyball was a popular sport. I played volleyball. In fact, I almost failed my university exams because of volleyball, because we're stuck behind Lome. I went to play with the team. And basketball, we are doing well, but not too well. You just realize our neighbors, Nigeria, the women and the men's teams have qualified for the Olympic Games. We haven't appeared anywhere. Table tennis, we were a major table tennis playing nation. It's all gone because no money is being put in it. But these things are very important for national pride, as well as building up the feel-good factor in every country. I mean, look at the US, look at Australia, look at the UK. When their sports people are at it, the amount of push they give them, because one gold medal is one up on another country or many other countries. So I think the opportunity is there, the structure is not there, and we are hoping that we can re-infuse that whole spirit of, first participation, because it is a business today. Sport is a business. I think if we're able to do this conference, which we would give national attention, it will bring some knowledge, and people will see the opportunities. Some of the opportunities are massive. I mean, I can tell you, I know a Turkish friend of mine who is a football scout. And over the years, he's taken Ghanaian footballers to Turkey. And he tells me that he's made a ton of money out of it. But we are Ghanaian, the opportunity is right in front of us. And he keeps telling me it wasn't a big investment he made, but the returns were definitely worth it. And every day he's crying that, well, we are not seeing as much of the Ghanaian talent in Turkey as we used to see. And maybe he needs to come and scout around again. But we are also seeing a lot of Ghanaian players now go to the European leagues and go to Asia, etc., etc. Why do they go there? Because it's business for them. They make money out of it. They make big money. Now, why is that not happening in Ghana? I think the real, if I'm right, and I stand to be corrected, but my view is that over a certain period, political stability, economic stability are also prerequisites for creating a certain investment, indigenous investment opportunity. People were struggling to make ends meet. It wasn't soccer they were going to put their money unless they saw a direct benefit. But some did see. Some have invested in it and are making their returns. But the reason why it wasn't big was because even the standard of soccer fell because there was no money being put into it. I remember when I was much younger, I knew teams. I didn't know any of the players. I knew Susu Bribi. I knew Mighty Eagles. I know Dewu United. I know Cornerstone. I know Asante Kotoko. I know Hearts. I know Akotex. I know Olympics. Akarakachi. All that because there was activity, and there was a sense of pride in it. So even though people did not put too much in, all those clubs, mind you, most of them were privately sponsored. Now, can you imagine if we had built on that till today? Look at Barcelona. Look at Real Madrid. 200 years, not 200 years, quite a number of years of a tradition. Big money. They buy one player and it's how much? Hundreds of millions of dollars. Why? Because that player is going to bring people onto the field to watch consistently over a season. And they will generate that money. I was just talking to a friend who says, wow, look at the promotion of this Hearts and Kotoko thing in England. If you look at the number of Ghanaians in England and you're able to reach them, trust me, the stadium will be too small. So somebody is seeing the opportunity and says, well, yeah, this is another way to bring it up, hype it, but it's also a business. There will be gate fee, there will be sponsorships, there will be TV rights, there will be this, there will be that. We need to do all that. Today, like you said, my very sad bit is that we didn't get a headline sponsor for the league. And I guess it's because the headline sponsors never saw the returns. But imagine that, some of the matches that have been played here, the last Hearts and Kotoko match that was played here, if they had sold it to a DSTV and made sure that everybody paid X amount to watch that TV, like they do pay as you go or whatever it is. Kotoko and Hearts are known names in Africa. I go to countries and everybody mentions, I remember Asante Kotoko and Hearts of Oak. They are known names. You can't sell them using that channel. And once you sell them and they start becoming big teams and people start getting interest, that is where the big money comes. Because somebody will see it as an opportunity and says, let me buy Kotoko. I think over the 10 years, it would be a worthy investment because it will be a team that everybody knows, their supporters are going to rise up. And now, my gate fees, my sponsorships, even marketing the brand. Yeah. There's no shop in Accra I can walk to go and buy a Kotoko t-shirt. Yeah. But I bet you I can buy Arsenal t-shirts again. I can buy, I don't like Man U, but I can buy Man U t-shirts. I can buy Man City. I can buy Chelsea. Yeah. Chelsea's my team, although these days they try. So these are all opportunities, merchandising. I passing through Dubai, I go and I see a whole shop, a whole Barcelona shop. I was impressed. And the shop was constantly full. Anytime I passed by, people were buying the merchandise. It's also marketing. So our football administrators probably need to pick up the pace a bit. Because, like I said, infrastructure is important. The macroeconomy is important. And the infrastructure is not just stadia, and the infrastructure relates to the legal regime affecting footballers, the protection they get. There's insurance, there's financing, there's sponsorship, there's merchandising. All those put together form the infrastructure of the sporting game. And that is where we need structure. And I'm very pleased. In fact, I don't have a hat on, but I'll take off my hat for the president when he mentioned that there are going to be new athletic stadia with tartan tracks. Put us back on the globe. People know Ghana for sport. There are AstroTurfs being done. Some of them are privately being done. My good friend McDan has built a number of AstroTurf places. Even in terms of the community, it is impactful. People then start to get serious. The footballers themselves will start getting serious and say, hey, Charlie, I can make some good career out of this. So that whole infrastructure is very essential, and that is one of the things that we want to bring out when we do this forum or conference on sport investment. Sports is big. Our corporates would rather go and, I don't know whether it still happens, but they'd rather put money in Miss Ghana and this and that and that, because they see that a lot of people go and watch it. But more people watch sports in this country than almost any other thing. So sports itself is a commodity that can be well packaged, well marketed as an investment opportunity. And I think that the structure we have, I think does give some tax reliefs to sports investment, the corporates. But the marketing hasn't been done well. If I were to be the manager of Hearts of Oak or Asante Kotoko, I will do a comprehensive proposal that will demonstrate how much an investor should make from this team. That is how they do it in Europe, and even now, the United States. It's become big business. Asia, big business. China, I'm sure you recently had the records on the NBA in China, and it was a major, faux pas because it's huge. I was in Canada, Raptors, and I fell in love with the team. I mean, I went to watch a Raptors game. You should have seen the passion, and there are people who buy ring court seats for $50,000 for the year season ticket, some $20,000. And I'm saying, wow. All these are opportunities for an investor to say, okay, let me build up this team, let me make them the dominant team, let me put a bit of passion behind it, and then around them we'll create an economy. And that's what we don't have yet. Okay. But as the economy is improving and Ghana becomes the fastest growing nation in the fastest growing country in the world, we have some very good semblance of macroeconomic stability. The opportunity is now. And we are building the physical infrastructure to support that. And yes, I think we will do that. In fact, they will be the primary target of this conference that we're going to have. But it's not just going to be football, it's going to be sports. It's going to be sports. And, I say this and I stand to be corrected, but I think agencies, our sporting agencies in the past, have looked at sports more as a social enterprise than as an economic enterprise. And so they haven't built it up as a business that they can market and sell. I mean, Accra Sports Stadium, are there season tickets? Hearts of Oak, Kotoko is arguably the biggest teams in Ghana. Do they even create season tickets that somebody says, I'm watching every match of theirs, so I'm buying it for 10,000 or 20,000 cedis or 50,000, whatever it is? Right there, that's a marketing opportunity to invest in the club. But I don't think our managers are there yet, But it also percolates down to the players themselves. The reasons why players command a high ticket is because of what they do. And because they know that they can command a high ticket, that is why they get to that level of professionalism. I mean, Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, we put their collective economy together. Huge. Yeah. You're probably going above $1 billion, 3 people. But when they play a match, people go to watch the team, but know that they will go and watch the team because their man is playing. And it gives the players a certain sense of pride and a certain sense of direction and professionalism, because they know that, well, if I go there and I perform and people see me and they see my club, it's more money for me. So that whole value chain needs to be broken down and looked at each stage as a business. If I had a great talent today, I could invest in that talent and wait for him to mature, 16, 17, take him out and start looking at clubs and take him to clubs to see. And you make your return. Well, we have to, but the question you have to ask first, is the team generating the revenues to do that? I mean, I don't think any of the football clubs make their P&Ls, their annual reports public.
No.
They don't. But if they were and they're to be audited and stuff, then you see the numbers they are generating. But you can actually sit down and plan to say in a year, my turnover should be 100 million cedis. And if my turnover can be 100 million cedis, how much should I need to spend on my players so that I can ensure that revenue? What's the revenue assurance model? How many matches do we have to play? What do we need to invest? How much can we get out of it? And and it's interesting you should ask this question, because one day, just out of curiosity, I sat down and I was trying to put down on paper how much it will cost to manage a team for just a week. So there are players, they have to go for training. First of all, they are kids. I'm even told that in Ghana, sometimes the player has to get his own kit.
Yeah.
I mean, what else does he have? What allegiance does he have to the team? He has allegiance to the money you get, and maybe trying to build enough a fan base such that he becomes a popular player. But that's about it. But if I invested in the team, and I say, I'll kit you, I'll make sure that you are well fed, so you're strong to play, and I'll pay you a good monthly salary. Do you think that player would take it as a joke? If he's making 150 cedis a month and suddenly he's making 1,500 cedis a month, he'll be more serious. But because we haven't gotten there too, I don't think the players, they are killing themselves, but nothing comes in. And it doesn't even motivate them to get to that level of professionalism. I mean, somebody showed me a video clip. It was funny, but it was serious. That prior to the Hearts Kotoko match in Accra, some of the players were seen at a Wachi joint buying Wachi to go in before a match. I mean, obviously, I'll say if I'm the team manager, if I knew the team, I'd say, so you don't have even a team doctor to advise that this is not what you are going to eat heavily to go up the pitch to disturb your whole system. No. But if we have that level of professionalism, I think we'll gradually get there. And the important thing is awareness. When all the people get to know these things, then they start to make investment decisions. Somebody may decide that, well, yeah, instead of me going to do my factory and sell my things, maybe soccer or basketball or volleyball or whatever it is may bring enough.